Hi folks, and welcome back to Fishing with Den, and this is day one of the 3-day tournament or festival, whatever we're calling it this year. And I've drawn on the side where the flats are this year. If you watched the last couple of years, you'd have known what I'm talking about. It's a big old place. Look, this is only part of it. It goes way over the other side of that bridge over there, if you can see that, and it's, I don't know, it's kilometers long. Anyway, I'm here and I'm going to be pole fishing and I'm going to be feeder fishing, and I'm going to use my fixed pole. Now, for anyone that hasn't been watching the videos the last couple of weeks, a week or so ago I crushed the end of this, then I repaired it, and last week I did a video where I tested it. But of course I was only testing it with a 14 elastic and carp up to about 4 pounds, and it held up great. But today this place is something like 10 feet deep at 7 or 8 meters out, and the carp here are lunatics. They just go tearing off. So it's going to be a size 10 hook, 0.25 bottom, 0.28 main line, a 2 gram float to start with. If the wind gets up, that'll become a 4 gram float, and I'm just going to hope it works. Now, the good news is, if, as one of my Australian friends says, part of him wants it all to work and 7/8 of him wants it to explode, because he's like that. If it does explode, the good news is that I put a comment up on a Facebook page the other day, and I mentioned I was going to buy a brand new pole from the UK, but of course it was going to take 2 or 3 weeks to get here, and so I didn't really have time to get one. But as luck would have it, and this is the 13 meter Daiwa Yankum bank from about 6 years ago, as luck would have it, a friend of mine came up and he's got the 14.5 meter version, and it's never been used. So I bought his off him. Had to drive 400 kilometer round trip to do it, but I bought his off him, and I've now got a standby pole if I need it. But because I said I was going to use this, and because I've got faith in this, I'm going to go with this to start off with. The good news is that's sitting behind me. It's not properly set up yet. I've got a couple of rigs, a couple of top kits set up, but I'm going to go with the old faithful here for the last time before I put it in the cupboard and use it maybe for spares or for a friend if they need it later in my life. So really, that's about it. Out there, going to fish about 39 meters. It's 10 feet here and 3 feet over there, maybe 2 feet actually. It literally does that. And I'd have to say, a little bit disappointed in the draw. I'm on peg 2, and all of these pegs, these 3 pegs along here, there's a little sort of canal inlet just there. Everything this side of the canal inlet last time caught not a great deal. And the previous year, I was fishing just down there where Don is at the moment, and I caught not a great deal either. So get me excuses in first of all. Hopefully it is going to fish today. It's actually gone a bit overcast. I've gone out and got a fleece just to keep myself warm, because I'm actually starting to get chilly already. But we've got about 10 minutes before the whistle goes, so I'll get back to you once we get started. Whistle's gone, and I'm going to start off on the feeder. I'm actually going to, well, I've already put 5 of these great big feeders full in, fishing at 39 meters. Whoops, take it off there, done. Got some bait on. I've got a size 10 hook, and I've got 2 bits of corn on a hair, and there we go, first cast, and I managed to put it in almost the wrong place. But it's not far off, it'll do for now. The rest of them were really accurate. Right, let's get myself set up, and hopefully we'll get a bite reasonably quick. Last year it was something like 2 hours before most of us had a bite, and the ones along here didn't get many bites at all even then. But this year is a different year, so think positive, Den. Well, first bite. Good pull round too. Don't think it's very big, but let's just get it in. I was just about to pull in and have a go down on the pole line, because we're exactly half an hour in at the moment, but literally seconds before I was about to do that, this went round. Don't care how big it is, as long as I get this one in. So far it's not too bad, I'm just able to wind. Right. Where are we? It's sluggish, this fish. I mean, normally they literally go off like lunatics, but I'm quite happy if it decides to be a reasonable fish. Right. Down on these rocks here, you've got to be a bit careful. He's over there. Right. Problem is I can't spread me landing out behind me because I'm on a very narrow pathway, which is probably only 3 meters wide. So we've got push bikes and prams and people running and all sorts of things. So I've got to keep it down to the side at the moment, which is all a bit awkward. But it's just one of the things you have to do when you're in these populated places. It's actually a better fish than I thought he was at first. Come on. Where are you, fish? Got to be careful because quite often when this place gets flooded you get sunken trees and all sorts in it. He's decided to fight down under me, hasn't he? Always the danger point, always the danger point. Come on, fish, come on. Don't go nuts. Go in there, that'll do me. Right, one, we're in. And it's a decent fish. It's about the average for here. Probably £5. I'm not going to show you them today, obviously. We've lost too many fish in the past that way, haven't we? Just hooks in the side of his lip too. Get him in the net. Right, one it is. Well, I'm having to wait a little bit of time for these bites, but more than happy with them. This one's decided to swim towards me. Look at this. Any second now it's going to decide that it's had enough of this. It's right down below me, I think. Here we go. Starting to fight now. Oh, either that or it's just tiny. I think he's just tiny. But hey, it's another bite. Oh, he is tiny, this one. Wow. It's the smallest one I've had out of this place, I think. Ever. Still, not complaining. It's probably 3/4 of a pound. But what I am going to do is, it wasn't going terribly well. As I say, we're an hour and a quarter in. Wasn't going terribly well out there. So I'm going to give the pole another go and see if they've turned up there. Because if they have turned up there, I can hopefully catch quite well. But this is really slow. Guys around me haven't caught anything yet. As I said, the guy on the other side of the canal there, he's had that one fish early on, but I don't think he's had any more. So I'm probably there or thereabouts on this section. And just so you're aware, picked the wrong one up again then. Obviously there's points and prizes for each day, but in the end the winner overall is the one with the least points. So if you win your section you get 1 point. So the answer is, if you've got 3 points you've probably won it. Last year I had 4 points because I had 2 section wins and a second, which gave me 4 points, and luckily nobody else won their sections on all 3 days, so that was a good thing. Well, it was for me anyway. Obviously we've got a gardens behind us, so all those that laughter you can hear is people enjoying themselves behind me. Right, let's give this another quick go, see what happens. It's good old depth down there, about 10 feet as I said. I've put some pellets in down there while I was messing around and some more corn. I've got some ground bait down there which I put in. I don't think I'll put that in on camera, but hopefully we might start to get a few bites fairly shortly. First bite. Always good when you can get that first bite down there. Hopefully you can keep them coming. This is 22 elastic, by the way, so it's got a bit of pull on him. Just let him go for a bit. Right, got to be very careful how I do this, because if I put the pole too far behind me, somebody will come along on a bike and run it over. So you've got to try and keep everything flat. Alright. Come on, fish. That's it, don't go down there. Come on. Obviously, as people go by, I will get talked to. So bear with me for that one. Now the question is, do I end up breaking down to the 2 or leave it on the 3 section? That deep, it's quite difficult to know. Oh, a nice mirror. I think I might end up going with the 3 sections next time. Yeah, definitely going to need to leave the 3rd section on next time. I just have to do without a puller bong. Right, in you go. Oof. Well, that's 4 fish, and that's a much better fish than that last one, which is picking up a good weight already. Well, not actually much doing, is there? Just down on the pole line still, so I'm going to go back out on the feeder. Probably going to double feed this time, and for anyone that doesn't know what that means, it means I'll just cast out, get the feeder to land, strike it all out, and then the next time I cast out, that's when I'll be actually fishing, just to get a bit more bait out into the area. I'll put the first feeder full in, as I said, just get this one filled up, put some bait on, and we'll go back out. This wouldn't normally be a banker line, but you never know. Very strange today. Nice if it went round, wouldn't it? I think it's time for a cup of tea too. Not sure how far in we are actually. Let's have a quick look. Hour and 3/4 in. It's usually around about now-ish when the fish turn up, in that sort of 2nd hour, sort of into the 3rd hour. So hopefully, as I pour my cup of tea out, that'll go like that. So that's exactly the 3-hour point of the 6-hour match now, guys. And as I say, it's just pretty dead. So we're going to go out and hope that they've turned up on that pole line, because normally by about 2-hour point you can usually catch a few on that. But the guys either side of me aren't catching on it, and they have tried. They're back on the feeder, and they're still on 0. What have I got here? Oh yeah. Also, scuttlebutt around the lake is that people are catching either 0, 1 or 2 fish, that kind of thing. But I gather some people have had a couple of bites in this last sort of half an hour or so. So are they coming on there, or is it just, you know, like I've had this sort of sporadic sort of thing where you'll get 1 fish, then maybe a second one, and then nothing. So anyway, we'll put this in and we'll give it a go. And with a bit of luck, it'll just go from. As I say, I've been feeding it, so can't say I'm not. And that float hasn't gone under. Ah, no. And the only place I'm getting the odd bite is out there, but do you concentrate down here a bit more, or? It's just one of those days where the fish are just not responding well. Don's got his first fish. You can't see it, or maybe if I lean forward you might be able to a little bit, but he's got his first fish and he's got it to the net. He's had 2 others to the net and they've fallen off, so he's pretty over the top of suicidal now. Looks like a reasonable fish too. Come on Don, get a grip mate. He's chasing it around. Oh no! And is he going to get this time? Not yet. He keeps trying. Yay! Well done, Don. Well, at least he's caught one anyway. Oh. Yay! Well, have they come on? Both on the pole and the feeder line, because if Don's catching on the pole line, if I can catch down there, it's going to be quicker. So I'm just going to give a quick go on the pole line. But it will be quick because I don't want to waste the opportunities on this line. Ooh. It's off to the side somewhere, this one. Again, I'm not catching big fish at the moment. Oh, he's under the keep net. Nearly didn't see him go there then. Whoa, very fast. Okay, 7. Cooking on gas now, but a quick look, as I say, at the pole line, I think, just in case. Oh, come on fish, oh, wait. Weight wise, what have I got? 7 fish, 3-4 pound average, 25-30 pound I suppose, maybe. Right, so a quick go on the pole just in case. Oh, I thought that was a bite. It's a bit further down because the current's actually starting to go down that way, so. Come on fish. Right, now breaking down the pole, can't put it behind me, can't use the puller because it's on the top 2, and we've got 10 feet of depth, so we'll see how this works out. It's going to be awkward whatever I do, I think. This one might be a little bit bigger, I don't know. No, don't want to bend the pole over too much. Can't reach the puller. What have you got to do? Just play him out, I suppose. What are we looking? Okay, we'll go with it. If this breaks, at least I've got the backup pole. Alright, come on fish. Come on. Oof. Come on, gently, gently, gently. Yay. Give it a bit of a leg assist. You've seen that before. Oh, it's actually not a bad fish. Not a bad fish at all. Say that was a bite. None of these fish are all that big. Could do with bigger. Never satisfied, are we? Oh, see, Don's got one too. You can see that over my shoulder. Oh, this one just decided to fight further out. Come on, fish. Don's just lost that one, he'll be happy. But he's talking to a bystander, so he'll probably won't be swearing for a while. If that bystander walks away and I'm still catching fish, I might have to do some bleeping. Come on, fish. Come on. Don't be doing that now. You need to be just giving up now. Come on. Come on. Everyone's precious today, I keep saying. Because I don't think the weights are all that fantastic in some of the sections. Come on, fish. Come on. That'll do. Keep coming. Yay! I think I might have just caught the camera, but that's alright, I can check that in a minute. That's 11. And that is a lot better weight than I first thought I was going to have today. I think we've got probably an hour or so to go. So there's a possibility of, well, potentially 2 or 3 more. Oh yeah, that went well. I was kind of expecting it. Right, come on, fish. Just come on in nice and quickly so I can get another 2 or 3 of you. Oh, it's fighting out there for a change. Oh, okay, and as usual, anytime about there. That's when he's decided to fight. Oh, come on. Okay. Come on. I'm glad I'm using size 10 hooks today. Sean.
Sean?
Yeah.
What's he doing?
I think he's got 4. Don's talking to his mate. He's got a 5 apparently. He's just got another one. He's actually catching well now. Good news is this will be 15 if it comes in. So it's funny how they came on in that last sort of half an hour for Sean. Come on, fish. That'll do. 15. There we go. That looks like a bite to me. Yay. And there's about 4 minutes to go. Just got to get this one in and I'll be more than pleased with my day's work. with 21 fish if this one comes in. I haven't done too badly at all. Doing the usual thing, roll him in, and then somewhere about here we'll be doing the fighting part. Told you. Oh, come on fish. Well, I won't get another chance at another bite, so it will be either 20 or 21 fish, I reckon, today, depending on whether this one comes in or not. And of course, you won't know the results for a few seconds, and for me, it's going to be a few hours, because obviously we've got to do the weigh-in and get the results overnight. So I'll actually tell you what the results are when I get on the bank tomorrow morning. Right, come on fish, this is a decent enough fish. This can make all the difference, this one. Come on. Yeah, a bit of a leg assist, get in. That'll do, 21. So, I think there's about 2 or 3 minutes to go. There's no way I'm going to be able to get another one in that time. So, I'll see you tomorrow morning, guys. Hi folks, welcome back. Day 2 of the tournament. So first of all, let's give you the results, and the good news is that I won my section yesterday. I had 40 kilos, which is somewhere about 90 pounds, I suppose, and I was quite pleased because I really didn't fancy where I was. The guys to the left and right of me didn't catch for ages, and it was patchy all through the section. So I've got 1 point, and remember, to win this tournament you have to have the least amount of points. So there's 3 of us at the moment on 1 point. That's Mike, Mark and me. So again, obviously got to try and win the section today, but just to finish off on that, not that it got me any money, but I also won the match yesterday, so I was quite pleased about that too. What that means, of course, is that I've got the highest weight. So if 3 of us win our sections, or sorry, 2 of us win our sections on each day, we'll both have 3 points, but then it's on a count back on weight who wins. So that's a good thing too. So I was really pleased with myself. Wasn't sure it was going to work out. Ended up obviously catching on the feeder. Pole line just wouldn't work for me yesterday, and then Sean to my right, about 4.5 hours in, he started to catch on the pole, and it was one after another, which is what I was hoping for myself. Don to my left had a bit of a nightmare day. He was losing fish all over the place on the pole, but I just couldn't get a bite on the pole. I think I had, what, 1, 2 fish, something like that. So anyway, I'm round the side today. The flats are over there. You might be able to see them on this camera. I've got another camera set up. Whether it'll work or not, I don't know. Didn't have room for it yesterday because the walkway was only very narrow, but I've got some grass here today. It's probably 2 feet shallower here. Goes down to about 8 feet, 7 or 8 meters out, and then for pole length it stays pretty much the same all the way. But I've got cast out with the bomb and had a bit of a feel around with the thing, and I'm reckoning on staying with the 39 meters because it seems like the right area to fish. Anyway, we've got probably 5 or 6 minutes to go, so I've got a couple of more things to do. Got to cool down for one. I am dripping sweat today. Big change from yesterday when I was freezing a bit. But anyway, I'll get myself sorted out and we'll get back to you as soon as the match starts. The all-in's just gone, and I might as well do exactly what I did yesterday. 5 or 6 balls across the way there at 39 meters. Give it a few seconds, we'll pull that off and then repeat the process. Probably take me about 5 minutes to get this done. Nothing so far, guys. Danny's just gone out on the pole and he's got one on. He's fishing further out than I'm going to be, but it's obviously time to have a quick look on the pole again. But I haven't had any kind of indication whatsoever, and there he is catching fish. Doesn't bode well, does it? Not to worry, Den, not to worry. Well, I just had what definitely looked like a bite to me, but I missed it. I'll have another go down there and see what's going on. 2 pieces of corn, As I said, it seemed like there was indications before, but I wasn't sure if it was just me. Don't know if Danny's caught any more. I honestly can't see if Richard's catching anything at all. Too much grass and trees in the way. We're 2 hours in, and I've been chopping and changing and different things, trying the feeder and going back on the pole, and nothing's working. Literally nothing. Richard next to me has just texted me. He's got nothing either. I think Danny's still on 2 fish, so 2 hours in, we're hoping they switch on, because if they don't, it's going to be a bit of a boring day. It's a fish, and just hope I get it in. Even if I get a few points today, it's still not the end of the world. Obviously I only want to get 1 point really, but disaster would be having no fish whatsoever, because then I'd end up with, how was it, 12 points? There's 12 to a section, so that's not the desired result at all. And this isn't a big fish, but I'm taking me time. I'm very much taking me time, in fact. Still can't get to the puller bung because, can I though? I don't know. Let's see. It's kind of one of those in-betweeny things where, oh, I might be able to. Yeah, okay. Looks like we can get to the puller bung, and that makes it a bit more comfortable. Okay, come on fish. Just stay on. Oh, I'd bully this a bit more if I was catching loads, but I'm not, so this, I am taking my time. This one is precious. Not even very big, but very precious. Right, come on. Quite warm today, as you probably gathered. Right, here we go. I think it's on the outside of his mouth. Oh no, we're in his mouth. Come on, fish. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Ah, you see? Yes, we're in. Yay, go Den. That's a bit of a worry because that's 2 hours in. That was a real worry. Right, he's probably £3 or £4, I suppose. Same sort of thing as usual. Second bite. Hopefully second fish, but it's taken off, isn't he? He's out there. Look at that. He's on the surface now. Straight back under me. But that's okay. I see Danny's just had another one, so it's at least 3. So I'll finally get a second bite, and he's on 3. Anyway, let's just see about getting this one in. I'll be playing them gently again today, obviously. Don't want to be doing the losing-y thing. Just try not to say the word. Am I superstitious, I think? I don't know, maybe I am. Right, come on. Let's have you. I'd actually just fed and gone out on the feeder. I've come back in and literally had that bite within probably a minute. So, hopefully, we're starting to see some improvement, because we're probably somewhere about 2.5 hours in by now, I would think. Come on. I've got to think about going for that wall. They aren't the biggest fish I've ever seen, but they're so welcome. Isn't that typical Aussie fish? They see the net and they bolt. None of this commercial, just chuck it in the net jobbies. Right, 2. Good for that. Might even set the camcorder up so you can see a bite if I get another one. Problem with doing these videos for you is, of course, that what am I doing? I was doing yesterday's job. Is that you end up spending time doing the technical stuff rather than the fishing-y stuff. But I'm going to need to concentrate today because I think it could be fairly tight. And we're up to 1 o'clock and things ain't looking all that great. I'm sure Danny's catching one or two, but I can't really see him, as I said before. Don't think Richard's had any, or if he's had an odd one, that's all it is. And I'm still on those 2 fish. So I think yesterday Morris, when he was on this peg, said they came on really late in the match. And certainly across the way there, the last hour and a half was what did it for Sean. So who knows? Well, first bite on the feeder. Wow. Who knew? And I'd literally just got off the phone to Richard next door to say, have you caught anything? Because I'm not doing very well. And he's come back with, no, he's literally had nothing. And I'm sitting there waiting for a reply. And what happens? It goes round. Wow. He's off ski. He's decided not to play at all, this guy, hasn't he? Oh, thought he'd come off then. Oof, don't do that. Give me a heart attack, fish. He's got some power though. I just hope he's massive. Make up the difference. Oh dear. That was a shock. First indication over there at all. Wow. Come on, get out of there. He's down in the rocks. Get out, get out, get out. Oh, he's bouncing around all over the joint. Oh, he's actually quite a nice fish. I think he's a mirror. I'd have preferred it if he just came in like a sack, but you know, what can you do? Well, it is a decent fish. That'll do nicely. Come on. Gently does it. Whoa! I thought that came out in the net then, but I looked for it and I don't know if it's... Oh no. Nearly had a heart attack. It is still in its mouth. It's actually in the corner, but I was convinced that had come off. But that's a decent enough fish. That'll do for £5 or £6, I reckon. Well, just put the thing in, the pole in, and off he went. He's off down the pond. Literally, that was, I don't know, 30 seconds? This is kind of what Morris was saying happened yesterday, where they kind of all turned up. Well, I say they all turned up, but 1 or 2 turned up towards the end. Oops, got it in the right place then. I'd fed down there and gone out on the feeder, and lo and behold, there's one there. The only thing is, I've just seen old Danny down there catch one too, so every time I get anywhere close to him, he catches another one. Mind you, he could have quite a few for all I know, I've not really noticed. Come on, fish. Not as big as the ones on the feeder, but who's complaining? Yeah, fairly small fish, this one. Mind you, as long as there's a few around, who cares? Five. That fish was right on the 5 hour mark, Got an hour to go. Wonder how many more I can do, if any, of course, but that's 2 or 3 from down here now, so they're obviously 1 or 2 down there. Been a bit of a lull, guys. It's still on 7 at the moment, but this one will be 8 if it comes in, and it will be about sort of 10 minutes from the end, I believe, about now. So I suppose I've got one chance of getting one more fish, but to be honest, I don't know why I bought the second keep net after yesterday with the 40 kilos, 90 odd pounds. I felt a bit bad only having one net, so I put that one in, of course. And of course, it's just the way of things, isn't it? You don't get to use it, but that's life. Okay. And I've actually just been joined behind the camera by one of the locals called John, who's been watching my channel for many years and has just come to say hi.
Hello.
Hi, John. So, very nice to see him. And if anybody else happens to be in my vicinity, feel free to come and have a chat too. There we go, that's 8. There we go. Let's see if we can get one more before end of play. And I think I'll be relatively happy with that today. I'm not going to win anything, but at least I haven't disgraced myself, which for a while there I thought I might. You never know these days. Come on, fish. Disappear. That's it. Well done. Oops. Well, whistle's gone, guys, and I've got the 8 fish, and I've had a good chin wag with one of my viewers, subscribers, John there. I suspect I'm not going to come anywhere major today in this section, but I haven't disgraced myself. If I can get a sort of a 4th-ish, something like that, in the section, I think I'll be reasonably happy today. Not going to win it, I don't think. But then again, you see, it's been patchy all along, so you don't really know. But it's not the end of the world. Even if I'm sort of 3 or 4 down, you know, every day is different. So hopefully the 2 or 3 guys that were up around the same sort of score as me with 1 point at the start of today have also not won their sections, which keeps me in the running. But anyway, same as usual, tomorrow morning, day 3, I'll get you the update and tell you how I did today. See you later. Welcome back for day 3 of the tournament, guys, and let me give you the results from yesterday. I did as well as could be expected. You needed to be on pegs 1 to 4 to be in the frame over on the other section over there. The best weight over on that 4 pegs was 68 kilos, which is about 150 pounds. The other weights weren't anywhere near as good as that, but they were certainly good enough to take the top 4 places on the section. I was on peg 8, which is sort of middle-ish of the section sort of thing, and I thought I was going to really struggle, as you probably saw, but in the end I've had that 16 kilos, which is what, I don't know, 35 pounds, and that got me 5th. So as I say, top 4 came from the first 4 pegs, and of the rest of us I managed to get the highest placing. Having said that, it fished pretty bad. The end couple of pegs down there, I think half of them either didn't weigh anything or had 1 fish. Danny next to me ended up with 10 kilos, so I did manage to beat him in the end, but mate, that was rough. It's actually fishing quite poorly. There's no real pattern to it unless you're in those 4 pegs over there, and over here today I'm on A section, which is directly opposite. You wanted the first 3 or 4 pegs of this section, and I've drawn peg 7, and on day 1 he blanked. Day 2 I think he had a couple of fish, whoever he was, and there were more blanks down there. So standings wise, I've got 6 points. I gather there's 2 guys on 4 points, 1 guy on 5 points, and I'm on 6, so it looks like I'm probably 4th at the moment. Best I can hope for is to win the section today, and for some of those guys to drop back like I did yesterday with that 5th. It's entirely possible because it's so patchy. You know, people that have got 4 points could easily not weigh anything at all today and go way down the leaderboard. So it's kind of a lottery. It's flat calm at the moment, as you can see, and I'm sitting under trees, so I'm perfectly warm and comfortable. But that's the update. I'm waiting now for the whistle to go. We've actually still got about half an hour before the whistle goes, so I'll finish off getting my kit ready, and then as soon as we get the all in, I'll get back to you. Okay, well, whistle's gone, and we'll do the usual. I'll get a few feederfuls of ground bait and particles out into the swim. Same sorts of distances as yesterday and the day before. Pretty much nothing changes here. It's the same all 3 days for me anyway. So let's get this out there. Not very deep where I'm fishing to. Count of 1 on the bomb, so can't be very deep. What's that, 3 feet, maybe 4 I suppose, but that's okay. I'm kind of looking for that today. Closer in I've probably got 8 feet in places. I'll show you the pole rigs as we get to them, but it's not massively deep over here. In fact, very similar sorts of depths to what I was fishing yesterday, if I'm honest. Of course, that was on the bank opposite yesterday. I'll get these few balls in, and then we'll sit and wait, live in hope, while the fish turn up. I'm giving it half an hour, and as expected, nothing yet on the feeder. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just have a very quick look on the pole line and see. Again, not really expecting too much at the moment, but if they're there, might try and pick 1 or 2 up. You'll notice I'm only fishing with the top 2, and that is because down to the left of me it's relatively shallow. And just to give you a bit of geography, I think there's a bit of a ledge just here, and then it goes down through the rocks and literally then just flattens out, and that's not all that far out. So I'm just going to fish there today, because fishing further out hasn't been doing me any good at times. And I'll put a bit of ground bait in at the start. Got a marker, and we'll put that in and see how that goes. Interestingly, this is my other rig. You can probably see the float. I'm doing the same thing on the other side, and it's that much deeper. And I don't know why. I mean, if I go straight out, it's pretty much flat. So I had to set up 2 rigs to do it. This one's only a 1 gram rig. That was the 1.6 gram rig I put on before because it seemed reasonable. But they'll be okay as long as we don't get any major wind, because I've had it before here where this is racing along like a fast flowing river in major winds. So if the wind does get up, I may have to change to something like a 3 or a 4 gram float. But for the moment, we'll just see how we go with this 1 gram and a 1.6 gram. Nothing on the pole line yet. I've tried off to the left, and I'm just trying this one to the right. As I say, they're completely different depths. There's a good 18 inches, 45 centimeters in depth difference between there and there. Not quite sure what that's all about, but you never know, do you? Try them both then. But at the moment, nothing yet, so we're going to go back out on the feeder. Quick update for you guys. We are now 3 hours in, so we're at the halfway point, and none of us in this half of the section have had a bite. AD at the sort of number, what is he, 5 peg, has had 2 fish, I think. Steve's had, I think, 3 fish further down from him. Can't see down the further down there because we've got a willow tree in the way and we haven't heard, but those would be the favoured pegs as I've mentioned. But as we said, this wasn't the place to be. There's an odd fish swirling, but whether we'll actually have a bite or not, we don't know yet. We live in hope though, and I'll update you as soon as I can on events. Well, tempted fate a bit there, didn't I? Because I literally no sooner said that to you than I've just had my first bite. And I was actually watching Terry there, who's also had his first bite. But as you can see, I'm on the feeder and he's on the pole. Does this mean they're moving in? Or at least starting to feed? Isn't that incredible, eh? Within literally probably 30 seconds of each other. we've both had a bite. I ain't complaining. It means I haven't blanked. Something I didn't mention is, I know I mentioned we were on sections, I think it's sections of 11 or 12, but if you win the section overall, obviously you get that, but they also pay mini sections, so half sections if you like. Well, fish, you're going off a bit. So in other words, for every sort of half a dozen anglers you get a mini section. So that being the case, on Monday, on Friday I would have got the overall section, but yesterday, thinking about it, I might well have got the mini section. We live in hope. This is actually quite a lumpy sort of a fish, I think. Ooh, stay on. It literally wrenched it round. I was looking at the reel going backwards because I was that bored. Nothing had happened for 3 hours. However, just need this one to stay on. I'll definitely be playing him gently. Well, as gently as I need to anyway. He's certainly pulling back. I haven't seen him yet, but the general sort of size in here seems to average about sort of 4 pounds or so. Some are smaller, some are bigger, but the average would be 4 pounds. This one could be 5 or more. Certainly got some go. There he is. He's giving me a bit of a run around, hasn't he? Got to be careful of all those rocks down there. I'd like to say they're coming on now, but yeah, we'll see. If it's anything like yesterday, you'll get 1, maybe 2 fish in succession, and then that'll be it. Oof. Right, at least I'm not blanking. Pleased about that. And it's a good fish too. 5.5 pounds. Just trying to set you up on the other camera, and nearly lost it. To unclip on that one, that's unusual. Anyway, what I was trying to say was, I was trying to set up the other camera down there so you could see this, and guess what? It went round, and I think this is somewhat larger than anything I've had so far. I'd like to be more professional about getting the line clip off, but as long as the fish stays on, that's all I care about. But if this is a great big lump, it'll go a long way to helping. I've got the little yellow line marker on there, so I can always get back to that if I need to. Next cast. Saves having to use sticks, distance sticks, for those of you that don't use them. It's just a means of getting back to exactly where you were. Right, this is actually exerting quite a lot of pressure on my arm, so I really thought for a second I was going to lose that. Said before it's taken 2 hours to get a bite, and then they came on, but 3 hours usually means, to me anyway, that I wasn't going to catch. But as usual, I've been known to be wrong. You can get consistent 5-pounders rather than the odd 3-pounder. It's always going to make a difference as well, isn't it? There he goes, look. And in you go. Gotcha. 2. Ooh. Hoodoo, as I keep saying. Actually, that's not a bad fish. That's at least 6, maybe a little bit more. Don't think this one's as big. Oh, he's up the bank. Maybe he is a bit bigger. He's actually trying to get up the bank here. I don't know if there's snags or something up there, but come on, out of there. Oh, I keep trying the pole line, but I can't get anywhere on it. Oh, this is a bit bigger than I first thought. I'll make. I'm not bullying anything today, but I'm putting plenty of strain on this. I'm in a snag. I'm in a snag. Oh, get out of that snag. Yeah, no, yeah, okay. That was way down there, so I think it's probably a branch in the water. That's the other reason for using heavy tackle. All sorts of obstructions. Oh, I thought I'd lost that there. Whew. It's hugging the bank all the way up here. I think I've got a crowd behind me. Come on, come on, come on. Come on. And yes. Oh, 3. Hey? Oh, it's on video, mate, yeah. Well, that's 3, as we said. Well, that was a disaster, wasn't it? I've just lost my rod and reel. The camera, this GoPro that we're talking to here, decided to die on me, and literally I stood up, I took one pace to there, and the rod shot out of the rests, sank and disappeared into the middle of the lake. So I've sat here all that time waiting for it to go around, and literally, once again, as soon as I do something, it's gone. So that's an expensive day, isn't it? And at this point, I think I'm going to pack up. I will weigh in, but no, I won't. I'm going to carry on. I'm kind of gutted, but I am going to carry on. I'll go on the pole and just see what happens rather. But yeah, you wouldn't chuckle, would you? Anyway, let's carry on. GoPro, stop recording. All right. Well, that's it then, guys. Had nothing on the pole, and that wasn't unexpected. I haven't had anything on the pole all day. No sign of that rod and reel. I was hoping it might float up somewhere, but it literally sank as it went down there. So it's going to be an expensive old tournament, this one. Anyway, back in a minute with the results for you. So here we are with the results then, folks, and it turns out that I came joint 5th on 11 points. If you remember the other 2 guys that were on 1 point after day 1 with me, that was Mark and Mike. Mark turns out to have come joint 5th as well. We both had 11 points. And he, like me, on day 2 had a sort of a mediocre-ish result, but his was more mediocre than mine because he did quite well on the last day, but we ended up with 11 points each. Mike, on the other hand, he had a poor day both days after the section win, and he ended up with 16 points. So it really was peggy. It didn't fish all that well at all, and in fact, talking to some of the guys that have been fishing there for many years, this is probably the worst, patchiest tournament they've had down there pretty much ever, from what I can see. Personally, I think I did as well as I could. Got the section win on the first day. On the second day, over on the A section on the road there, I came 5th, but as I said to you, you had to be in those first 4 pegs up by the bridge to get a weight, and so I was kind of best of the rest. On the third day, over in the trees, again, you really wanted to be in those first 4, maybe 5 pegs to do very well. And in actual fact, apart from my little mistake with the losing the rod, if I'd actually got that fish in, I would have come probably joint 4th overall. But look, I've got no excuses. I made that mistake. I'm going to have to pay for it and replace the rod and the reel and everything else. So please feel free not to comment on what I should have done or what I shouldn't done. I know how I messed up, and I am really embarrassed about it. After all the times I've told people how not to do stuff, what do I go and do? I mess it up. But anyway, look, I've had a 3-day tournament, and for the most part, I really enjoyed it. The company was great. The fishing was so-so, but it is one of those things where you go out and you just want to have a good 3 or 4 days fishing holiday. And that's what I got out of it. So anyway, I think on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. If you feel that you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give us a like. If you want to subscribe, feel free to do that too. And until the next time, bye for now.